Welcome back to What You Missed, a video game news show where I discuss articles that occurred within days to a week ago that you may have missed that are important to the video game industry and possibly to you. So before I get into this, I just wanted to say that Pokemon theories and Pokemon what-ifs aren't going away, but I've had a lot of Pokemon news to cover, what with the Pokemon Direct, and E3 is always a big thing that I like to discuss in detail. So with that, understand that there's a lot of other videos that need done as well, and let's get into this one, because I think this one really does take precedence over a theory. It's pretty time sensitive, and it's pretty depressing as well. 15 reasons Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon will be terrible. Now I want you to note that this is from The Gamer, whatever that site is. I'm not very familiar with it. But with that said, please note that the game's not out yet, Ultra Sun and Moon. So if you're watching this at a later date, the games never came out when this article was written. They're yet to be released, and they're quite a ways out because it's holiday release. But let's get into the video. Let's get into this article. So number 15 is running on Sun and Moon's engine, and I agree. That's pretty terrible because the frame rates are pretty low on 3DS. The newer 3DS, it doesn't seem to be much of a problem. It's a turn-based game still, so it's not really that horrible if frame rates are choppy because it's an RPG, so there's no quick platforming motions, movements you need to make. So not that big of a deal, but I think this person's really getting at the fact that it is running on the 3DS because that's number 14. And again, if you haven't upgraded from the original 3DS, then yeah, you're gonna have a bad time playing some 3DS games on there. We have newer variants of the system itself, and it's not like it's a minute upgrade or anything. It really does help to flesh out the games and run them at a smoother frame rate. New Pokemon is number 13. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they did literally come out and say, hey, there's no new Pokemon in this game, but it's a new Pokemon game. I don't know about that. I'm sure that there's not going to be a massive amount of Pokemon like the Alola Pokemon, but maybe there'll be new Alola variants that were undiscovered before for whatever reason. I don't know, that, you know, that BS stuff about, oh, we didn't know they exist. Like, all right, whatever, dude. Or maybe they'll have new fusion forms. We'll get to that a little bit later. I don't think they said that in the Nintendo Direct, so if this guy has sources in Nintendo, Game Freak, and the Pokemon Company, I'm not sure where he's getting this information at. Maybe there won't be any new Pokemon. I don't know. Number 12 is an uninteresting story. I somewhat agree. I don't really care for the stories in Pokemon that much. A lot of the time, they're pretty garbage nowadays. I mean, once you've been through 6 to 7 generations, stadium games and stuff like that, you tend to see the same stories over and over again. There's a group of bad guys. There might be a group of good guys. They're fighting. You have to come in and save the world. The end. And that's about it. The thing I look forward to in playing these games is the challenge in the trainers, and I want to be challenged greatly as I try to take on the Elite Four and become a champion. It's a rags to riches story, and it's a pretty good one with Pokemon, but the other story that goes along with it is not particularly my thing. So yeah, not enough content. Not enough new content is number 11, and I don't particularly agree with this either, because think about it, man. This is a new game that you have yet to see anything but trailers and some gameplay for with the Pokemon Direct. Now, who knows what new after game content they're gonna put in? Who knows what stories they're gonna put in? Remember the Delta episode? That was a new thing that was put in. There's tons of other side things to do, and if you're a real fan and you need that extra content, I'm sure they're gonna put in like very hidden trainers, very hidden content to find, and it's gonna be fun to do that if you're really hardcore into Pokemon games. Now, if you're not, I don't think you're gonna miss the extra content, because for me personally, the extra content of Heart Gold, Soul Silver, where you had the mini games, that stuff does not entice me to buy Pokemon or play Pokemon. I don't like that stuff. I don't care for it. It's not my thing. So I don't know about you. Maybe you're different, but you could go ahead and leave a comment in the section below and let me know. Now, number 10 is they won't bring over Sun and Moon players. Now, this might be true because Ultra Sun and Moon is kind of a sequel to the original Sun and Moon. It's the same way with Black and White and Black and White 2. But if you take a look at the sales figures, you can see that they're somewhat similar. With that said, I think we all understand that when there's a new Pokemon game and it's newest one in the generation, people are going to buy that one instead of the sequel because they already bought the bulk of the original new one. Hence why this statement is somewhat accurate. But again, it is subjective because we have yet to see the sales figures. So we don't know what is going to happen when it does release. Number 9 is roaming legendaries, which is somewhat strange. I don't know how roaming legendaries would draw people into Ultra Sun and Moon and not make it suck. There are legendary Pokemon in Sun and Moon. There's the Ultra Beast, right? Okay, cool, fine, you know. And people sought them out and tried to get them and thought that it was fun and unique and awesome. Unfortunately, this person wants them to be running around and give people incentive to chase them around. You know what I absolutely love? I absolutely love trying to fly to an area within a few seconds before that beast ran away. You know, that's what I loved when I played Gold, Silver, and Crystal. I absolutely loved putting him to sleep or freezing him and then having that beast run away. That's what I love. I gotta tell you, roaming legendaries, not cool for me. Not cool at all for me, man. But you do you. You do you. So there's only new forms. That's number 8. I guess what they're trying to say is there's only 2 new forms, which is the fusion of the 2 legendaries on the front cover. You can easily see that there's Pokemon fusing with them. I don't know what this is going to entail. I don't know how it's going to entail. I don't know how it's going to affect the story, but it's just like with Black and White when they had the DNA splicers and you could put Kyrium together with the 2 legendary Pokemon. No, I don't see a problem with that at all. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think it's great that Pokemon are introducing fusion aspects, but it does bring up the aspect and the question of, is this Digimon? Are we DNA digivolving? Are we fusing our Digimon together? Are they taking aspects from Digimon? Again, I'm not saying they're ripping off Digimon. I'm just saying it's interesting how Digimon had failed when it had a lot of these aspects in it within the first and second seasons of the show and some of the games, and Pokemon is going this route and seemingly succeeding quite a bit. Number 7, no partner Pokemon. Everyone wants Pokemon to walk behind them, okay? I get that. But in a game like Sun and Moon, where every single Pokemon is coded 3D, it's gonna be awful hard to have the Pokemon walk behind you because that's a lot of coding work they're gonna have to do. And you can sit there and say, yeah, but that's their job, you know? But there's a minimal payoff for that. While everyone wants their Pokemon partners to walk behind them, just like they do in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, that's something that tends to be a minimalistic payoff for individuals. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people don't even care for it. But the ones that do like it, it doesn't mean much to them. It doesn't do much for them at the end of the day. And the way that the Pokemon Company has mitigated this has allowed people like an X and Y to take care of their Pokemon more personally, feed them, pet them, and stuff like that. And that's how they mitigated that type of problem where people wanted their Pokemon to follow them. So I don't particularly see the payoff of this, even though it would be fun, nice, and awesome to see. I just don't see it being a massive payoff. Number 6, it doesn't bode well for the future. Okay. Anytime a game gets released for the series and it's a decent entry, I mean, it's not completely off the rails like Metroid Federation Force, you know, it's pretty good for the series. Look, when's the last time you saw a Conquer game getting released? When you don't see a game get released for a series for a long time, that's a dead series. And when a game finally does come out, it usually means that it's either dead and the original fans have moved on and are not going to buy that game, or it's trying to cash in on nostalgia. So to have the Pokemon Company consistently churn out new entries into Pokemon so quickly means that the series is doing quite well and producing income and will continue doing well. So you're not falsely investing your time in a series that is dying or is dead. With that said, I don't quite understand why individuals are so upset that this game is not on the Switch. Very difficult for people to get Switches. Right now, there are so many 3DSs versus the Nintendo Switch. How would you like it if you had seen this game come out and you said to yourself, you know what, I would really love to get that because it's on the Switch. It's the first game that's going to be on the Nintendo Switch, but then you couldn't find a Nintendo Switch to buy to play the game. Would that make any sense to you? No, it's stupid. It's ridiculous. So why would they do that? Why would they do that to you, you know? Why would they sit there and take, let's just say there's only 10 million Switches. Let's just say that for the sake of argument, versus 60 million million 3DSs. Why would they do that? Why would they appease 1/6 of the fan base that can actually play their game? Why would they do that? That's dumb. That's ridiculous. And on top of that, if they just put Ultra Sun and Moon on the Switch and didn't even recode it whatsoever, it would literally be the 3DS port blown up on your TV and it wouldn't look that good. So I'm not entirely sure what this person was looking for with this being put onto the Switch, but there you go. Number 5, defied expectations negatively. And yes, it did. A lot of people thought there was a massive rumor that Pokemon Stars was going on. Remember what I told you about Look to the Stars? Yeah, that was a really crappy troll on their part. They should have known that a lot of people were expecting this to be on the Switch and to not really do that stuff, but whatever, you know, they're a company, they do whatever they want. But yeah, it was a very negative thing because a lot of people bought into rumors instead of actually taking the facts. Number 4, holiday release. I'm not entirely sure how this is a bad thing. During holiday releases, people get money, birthdays, Christmases, events, Thanksgiving, family members come together all across the world, universally celebrated Christmas. So what's the problem, man? When kids get Christmas money, they spend their money. And so I think it's really good to have a game that's come out less than a month about before maybe they've gotten their Christmas money, and then they can go and buy the game. And it's a newish game, so they'll enjoy themselves. Number 3, marketing for kids. Whether or not you like Pokemon and you're an adult or a kid, it doesn't much matter. I think a lot of people are getting tired of the Pokemon company appeasing to children and children alone, but I do like the family-friendly aspect. I'm not particularly afraid of letting my daughter watch Pokemon. It's not scary to me, and I think that's very nice. I also think it's nice that I can actually sit down and play the game and not have to put myself in a specific mindset. I can just go back to being a kid for a little bit, playing Pokemon, enjoying myself, having fun. So this individual is talking about marketing for kids. I don't know, man. I don't know how you market specifically towards children, especially with the trailers and the gameplay that they put out. It seems very neutral, bland. It doesn't seem like it's marketed towards anyone specifically, especially the Pokemon Direct. Who cares who plays the games? What's it matter? 2 is writing off the success of Sun and Moon's hype. I guess, can't really argue with that, so what? And number 1, nothing new. Nothing new, you say? Well, the game isn't out yet, so nothing new, huh? How do you know this without even playing the game yet? How? Explain this to me. Explain to me how you know what is exactly going to be in that game before it's even come out yet. And you can't. And when you eventually do get your hands on the game, it's going to be doubly hard for you to play that game without a bias confirmation that it is indeed bad. You will actively go looking for things that are negative against that game because of something called confirmation bias. So go into this game with an open mind. If you like Pokemon, buy Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon and enjoy the game. If you don't, you don't. So don't buy it. Sun and Moon is amazing, man. It's a great series. Wonderful entry to the game series. And I think a lot of people downplay Pokemon. The fact that they're still putting out these games after so many years is a testament to how many Pokemon fans there are and how great Pokemon games are. If they weren't that great, there wouldn't be fans that would collectively remain after 20 plus years. So the gamer and the individual who wrote this, I strongly urge you to try and play the game with an open mind. And please, everyone, don't go harass this guy. Don't go trip out on this guy. I just want you to know that articles like this exist. So you guys have yourselves a great day. I've been your host, Protomario. I'm signing out. As always, good gaming. God bless. Please like and share this with all Pokemon fans. And thank you for taking the time out to watch this video.